We are doing the 6th live video of this series of workout educational videos for the people that are doing the fitness challenge for this spring. And today I'm going to talk about knee dominant exercises. We basically are going to talk about exercises that are bilateral and exercises that are unilateral, that are knee dominant. And we're going to concentrate in a series of regressions and progressions of these exercises. I'm going to step back a little so you can see me, right? Everybody can see me here. The main and most important knee dominant exercise is going to be the squat. There are a few things to know when you're squatting. First of all, not everybody should be loading their squats. Second of all, you don't need to load your squat to be able to get a good workout. You can have multiple ways of doing the squat in which you can make it harder. You can extend the time in which you're at the squatting position, for instance. But now we're going to talk about form. How do you properly perform a squat? Right? So I'm going to start with the bodyweight squat, and then if this is something that is not in your repertoire because you don't have the requirements to do it, then I'll teach you a few ways to make it easier, then a few ways to make it harder, and then we'll start with lunges and single leg squat. Okay. So first, let's start with a regular squat. How is this a regular squat? Everybody should be able to do a squat of what they call ass to grass, which means you should be able to go all the way down to the floor with your butt really close to the end of the floor and perform a squat. What happens? That sometimes when you go this slow, like in my case, your back is going to be a little compromised because it's going to have a little curve at the end. Right, if you're gonna do this loaded, you don't want to really go that low with a load with your spine compromised. So what you can do to perform your squat is perform them as slow as possible with your back straight. 3 things to consider in the lower body: the hips, the knees, and the feet should be aligned. You can probably rotate like 30 degrees on each side, and then when you go down, you want to make sure that the knees are not buckling in or going out. The way to do this is pushing your knees out and pushing your thumb, your big toe, into the floor. That keeps your knees in proper alignment. But let's say that anyway, you cannot go that low without compromising your back. Some people have to do this to get that low. Well, then maybe you need to do a regression. What is a way to make this squat easier? You can grab a chair and work on getting to a really low level. If you have a chair that is about your knee height, that's great. Then you get into that chair and you go that low, tap the chair and go up. That's another version of the squat. So you have the option of doing a really low squat all the way down to the floor. If you can get to 90 degrees, do the squat to 90 degrees and do that for reps, or hold the squat if that's something that you want to do to make it a little harder. However, if you don't have that available to you, if even getting this low is really hard for you, you can have something like a doorknob. That's why I have the camera a little tilted. This is a doorknob on the closet in my apartment. You can grab the doorknob, use it to balance yourself, and then practice going that low. You keep practicing holding onto the doorknob. This will be like an assisted squat, and you want to build up to a level where you won't need the doorknob, at least to get your hips to the level of a chair. So then you can go into the chair, and then eventually you can go to body weight. At home, if you don't have weights, you can use a backpack or something else to put behind you and not load. That could also be a harder version of a squat. You can pack a bag with books, put it on your shoulders, and squat if you are able to do a proper squat. Now, the next thing will be single leg, and what I would like to call the narrow stance. The narrow stance position is this position you're in when you're walking. When you take a step forward, you have 1 foot back, 1 foot forward, and you're in a narrow stance, right? This is a position that everybody should be able to master. However, not much people do. One way to work on, one progression to work here will be to be able to go from kneeling here into standing. As if you see, I don't know if you can see my feet, maybe I can lower the camera a little. There's the floor. Okay, so now you can see my feet. If you see my feet here when I go down, my feet are not moving as much. However, my back knee is really close to that front foot. If I put all my whole body facing forward, you should be able to do this. I lost the balance, but you should be able to do this without losing your balance, right? And when you get to the top position, you should be able to squeeze abs and glutes. However, some people don't have this available to them. However, then the squats might be too easy, and they want to do something a little different when they do a unilateral exercise. Well, what you can do is use an assist to give yourself balance. Let's say that you lose balance like I did before, and you can never be able to properly balance yourself and align yourself without going up. Like some people need to use their hand to go up or use some kind of momentum. You get a chair, something you can hold on to, and then you put some weight on that arm that is helping you go up, and you help yourself go up that way, right? So that's one way to make it easier. So now we have 4 unilateral assisted single leg squat, body weight lunge, static lunge. In addition to that, you can also do, to make it a little harder, a reverse lunge. What you do is you have your feet together, you step back, and then you go back up. You can do this alternating, or you can do single leg all the time, bringing the same leg back. You land in the same position. However, for this to be available to you, you got to be able to keep that posture and go back up without compromising your body, doing any kind of compensation to make it happen. A way to make it a little harder will be doing walking lunges. So you step into a lunge forward. That would be like a forward lunge. You pick up your body and you walk forward, and you keep walking forward. This you can do for multiple reps going forward, and this is a way to make the lunge a little harder, even a little harder. The hardest way you can do for a body weight lunge will be to do a Bulgarian squat. When you do the Bulgarian squat, you want to elevate the surface. Right now, I am going to use a chair. Check that this chair yields here. If you have a chair like this, you want to make sure that you put your foot on the edge, on the front edge of the chair. Because if you put it on the back, you're gonna fall and it's not gonna look good. So you put one foot on the chair, right? You align your body forward, and then you go down and back up. And this is a Bulgarian squat. This might be a little bit of too much of a progression from a walking lunge, but you can use a lower element like a couple of books or something that can elevate your leg to a little lower level and work yourself into something higher. There you can add a load or jump or something to make the exercise a little harder. So that's a number of progressions and regressions, doing knee dominant exercise, starting with squats and continuing with lunges or narrow stance exercises. That is all for today's video. If you are part of the Spring Fitness Challenge, you will be able to find one of these exercises that is available to you that you can integrate into the workout, because this is what you're going to use to build your workouts. If you're not, you can also try to look for one just to integrate into your workouts. And if you have any questions about the exercises, just leave something on the comments and I'll try to answer as soon as possible. So thank you so much. I don't know if anyone joined here live, but this is going to stay on my Facebook page, Stage of Fitness, and you'll be able to access it. So just watch it whenever you can and leave your questions in the comments. I'll be happy to answer.